Okay, so we are gonna do this kind of like pop art graffiti hybrid of these names here. Now, some of you, I've already made you a name only because I see you infrequently, or I just want to make sure that we're getting to the most important parts of this lesson, which is to review some of our elements and principles of art and also to work on our skills, okay? So the very first thing you're going to do is, if I already did it for you, great. If I didn't do it for you, what you're gonna need to do is you're gonna create either some graffiti type style lettering or just some block lettering, but it needs to be hollow so we can put some cool stuff inside it, right? So we have a variety of handouts here to help us. Now, the name I am going to use is going to be Greta. So that's 5 letters. So I need to kind of plan that out, make sure I'm going to have enough room. If you really mess up, just go to the back. But I am good at this, so I did not mess up. So I'm going to make like kind of like my block letters going around the letter itself here. Okay, so now I have the name Greta. Now I'm going to refer to these directions here. What I would like for you to do next is to create kind of like a border around this, and then we're going to do some fun stuff, all right? So actually, let's do this. If you haven't already, let's make one kind of shadow of the space. Now, at the time I'm making this recording, it is my desire for us to finish this to be our first project and for us to put it out in the commons, so when your families come and visit during open house, we have something on the walls, and I will do it class by class. Okay, so now I have like a dynamic template for whatever it is I choose to do. I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to divide these spaces. Maybe like 5 lines going through. I'm not banging the ruler. I'm not removing that metal part of the ruler. I am respecting the materials. Okay, great. So now what I have are all these spaces in which I can add the details that will make my art interesting. So we are going to use warm and cool color schemes, and we're going to do patterns in some of these areas. Now, let's review some patterns. We should have reviewed this, with an exercise in class, but in case we don't. So an example of a pattern would be zigzag, right? So you see, I'm just going in this space right here. And then maybe another pattern I'm going to use is dots. And another pattern I might use is just stripes. Now I'm doing this freehand. If you need to use a ruler, that's fine. And another pattern would be wavy lines. Or, I'm looking at these examples here. What about, I'm just going to kind of like echo this shape with like concentric rectangles. Okay. Then I'm going to ask you to kind of do the same in some of these spaces here. So I can repeat some of my patterns. Over here I'm going to do some zigzag. Do some vertical stripes. I'm just gonna repeat this interesting line design here. And maybe here I just so our emphasis right now is on creating some areas of pattern. So up here, maybe I do my zigzag again, but this time I'm doing a little more loose. Down here. I mean, so I'm just really like going for it now. Just all kinds of fun patterns everywhere. I got drips. I'm going to pick up this drip again over here because I like the way that looks. I don't know what else. Let me think about this for a sec. Okay, now some of these areas I can make interesting later on when I am doing some of my coloring. So what I would want you to do at this time would be to go around all of these areas with your black Sharpie, okay? So that would be your next step. I'm gonna make a new video in a sec.